This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenro radio playlist. zenroclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pornian Bakery. If you're located in the Pornian area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pornian Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. All right, so we were just talking about like not early voting, but like voting and the Pope. Let's talk about the voting thing. Do you early vote?
No, I'm not.
Did you like go early? You're gonna go on the day?
Yeah, because it's in the building.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
that's easier for
I just decided to wait.
Nice. I didn't even like during that last election that I didn't even know was like happening. I didn't.
Oh, that's
I saw
the provincial one.
I guess like whatever that was when we were like walking by. I remember like a few podcasts ago, I was like, oh, there was like voting, and I thought it was for like the prime minister. I was like, oh crap, I missed that one. But this one was like, this one's like for the prime minister, and there was early voting on Easter. So like I went to that dinner. It was like last Sunday, I guess. Yeah, last Sunday. I went to the dinner thing, and they were like, oh, we all early voted, and I'm like, oh wait, there's early voting, and like this is one of those things that. Like, you just don't, I don't know, there's some, like, deficit between being a first world, well, not first world, like, you're, like, generationally been here, and then, like, your parents are immigrants or something. Like, my parents didn't even know about this early voting thing either. It was, like, Tara's parents who were like, oh, we early voted. I'm like, oh, let me do that, because instead of rushing to the thing, and then I told my parents, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm early vote, and they're like, early voting? And I'm like, wait, is that, like, just my family that just didn't, like, know about that? They were like,
possible.
What?
My parents knew that. They already voted.
But like your parents like aren't they integrated? Like they do something with it, you know? So like they know about it. But when
we knew about it before, yeah. But when you get your voter card, it says all that information right on the voter card thing.
Maybe my parents just didn't even read it. You know what I mean? They're just like whatever.
Well, I mean, like I guess if most people do vote on voting day. Most people.
Yeah.
Right.
So early I guess voting, maybe like they just waited.
Yeah, early voting generally, if people are, I'm just tired, like, let me just vote right now, or just that they don't have time on that day to vote.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even like conceptualize early voting, but I saw that. So like I was like compelled because I knew that this election, I was like, we can't be like Trumpy-ish, you know, like the Conservative Party was being very Trump and like. Remember, if you go like a few podcasts ago, I was like, I'm voting conservative this time. And then he did that one thing where I was like, I can't vote for you. You know, when he's like.
What I find interesting is well, I don't want to say calculated, but it worked as what the polls kind of were saying, I guess.
Oh, what? Why?
Oh, because I think if Trudeau was still in there, he would not have won. And then the polls.
Facts.
True. Yep. When Mark Carney got in, it changed it.
Facts. That is 100% accurate, actually, because if it was Trudeau, I'd have been like, you can't do that again, bro. But then, like, with the new paradigm, like, what are you saying? I was like, because I heard his response to, so they asked both of them, right? So they asked the conservative guy, like, oh, how many genders are there, right? And the first guy was like, I only recognize 2. The conservative guy was like, oh, I can't vote for you. That's like too... Oh, like you're just not, your software hasn't been updated. So they asked Carney, is his name?
Yeah.
So they asked him like, dude, I don't even know. I'm just like liberal, gotta go. So like, when they asked him, how many genders are there? He's like, if we're talking about sex, there's 2. However, if we're talking about gender, and then he just like went on this thing. I'm like, nice. Okay. You're logical. Like, yeah, if we're talking about sex, like we have to say 2 because that's medical, right? Like my sister as we were saying.
Yeah.
It's like a middleist approach. He wasn't like 100% Trudeau would have been like, there's like infinite number. I'm like, no, come on, bro. Like that can't vote for you. Like
Sure.
you're not there, But like being middle now, I feel like being middle is like that's where we have to head. We'd be like, this is good, this is good. We'll put it together. But like not just like 100% blinders on. I'm going with the left. It's like
Hmm.
that's how I feel Mark Carney is. Like when I heard that response, I was like, okay, that's a response that I can get behind. But everyone in the comments were like, clown, clown, like, oh, you're like a piece. I'm like, no, he's trying to say the best middle ground approach, which is like, that's true. Medically, there's two, but if you want to talk about genders, like, yeah, that's totally, there's as many as you want, right? And I was like, yeah, agreed.
Hmm.
But how do you feel about that? Were you
Yeah,
like,
no, I did like that response. Yes.
yeah, you saw it too, right?
He's
And
very,
he was like,
but again, I guess it comes off to those people as too collected or too,
it's like you're trying to appease both sides.
yeah,
Like,
sort of. But I feel like I don't know. It's just the other reaction is looking at him as more like a plant, or you know what I mean, like not,
oh,
but
yeah, I see what you're saying.
right.
Like,
And
oh, yeah, I know what you mean. It's almost like manipulated, but not manipulating. It's like,
but he's telling the truth. He's right.
yeah,
It's that's the level that it's gotten on the internet. But yeah.
it's like you're appeasing both sides. Like, no, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like, it's not. It's like the opposite of. So if being a centrist is positive, it's like I'm just taking
Mm-hmm.
both sides, right? He's more like, let me just say whatever he wants me. It's like we're trying to not upset the crowd, kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
No, because I think in a
Oh.
way, no, but he's telling the truth, but they feel like the way they view Obama, like the way Obama would speak versus like Trump, they just feels like these are not people that a normal person is going to connect to, kind of
Oh,
thing.
I see what you're saying. Oh no, no, I like a politician. He's like a
Yeah,
politician.
yeah. Oh yeah, now we
No,
forgot.
but
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
but
don't I
it's
don't think
like
so, but I think that's
I
their
don't think so
reaction.
either.
I don't think so. I do like his
Yeah,
responses. His responses have been correct, is the way it
yeah, like
sounds,
measured,
and measured.
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 Yeah.
That's I think kind of what we need in a leader.
Totally. Especially like in contrast to Trump, like the conservatives were trying so hard to be like Trump 2.0, like the little brother of Trump. And it was just like, ugh, it's so off-putting, bro.
Hmm.
But like, I like the liberal approach. You're so right. If they didn't switch out Trudeau, like we would have gone conservative.
Oh yeah,
I
it
just
would have been.
couldn't. It's too much. Like
But that's the
too
thing.
much,
Like I
bro.
think either the liberals, again, we don't know the results until I guess tomorrow. Um,
Tomorrow, why?
well,
Oh,
tomorrow's the actual voting
wow.
day. Yeah,
Oh, wow. I love how Canada is so quick. Like in
yeah,
America, it's like oh, now we're gonna wait for November. Now we're gonna do the debates. We don't do any of that. We're just like, okay, we're voting now.
yeah. There's no like set time necessarily. Yeah, but it was a
But I
minority
saw like,
government, right? So once they've chosen when they're going to do it, it's like a month.
where should I
So
do it? Oh, that's great. That's perfect. That's perfect.
yeah.
But I felt like it's like yeah, the feeling is that everyone's gonna go liberal. That's kind of what I was feeling internally from like my own camps. But when I saw the thing online is like 79% liberal, I'm like, I think that is the way it's gonna go. Because you're like, oh, we'll see tomorrow, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I'm
I
feeling,
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's polls, right? So
but
I
also
mean,
people on the
I
ground, like
do
everyone I
feel
knew
like
was
that,
like,
but I don't know. Like it could be wrong, just like the way they did
that
it
would be
in like
crazy.
in the
Like I'd be like,
U.S.
that would actually be so crazy if we went
Hmm.
conservative. Like, what just happened?
Right.
But I don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel that Canada is that insane. You know,
Hmm.
like when I actually mean like this is for later, but like a preempt to it. I was watching that podcast where it's like the fall of America, and when I was watching, I was like, yeah, it is true everything you're saying. But
Hmm.
we'll get into that a little later. Let's talk about the Pope really quick. Is there anything else about voting?
Um,
See the China Canada relations? That's interesting.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, if did you watch? You probably didn't watch the debates. I watched the debates, so that's also
Okay,
like
cool.
kind of
Wait,
informative in the way that it.
the Ontario, the not presidential, prime minister debates.
Yeah. Well, there was only one English debate. There
Who,
was
who
a
even
French
knew, bro?
debate too.
Did you know about that? I didn't even know. Like, you watched it, but I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah, I
know about
watched
that.
it. I
Oh.
watched it live. Yeah.
Okay, and what are your consensus from it? I'm like, oh, this cool guy, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's the right. Well, this is an opinion, but I guess it's. I think he's the right person for the right time. If we're
Okay,
talking about
what do you think about the?
economies.
Yeah, yeah, totally. What do you think about the China thing? You were saying, did you see the debates?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, like when they say existential, what is there? Like not existential threat, but like some threat. I think he said China.
Oh, he said China's a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, like
But again,
yes,
it's like it was just a quick
yeah.
question. What does he mean when he says China? Like in what specific way is it a threat? That it was not gone into, right? So I think it
Okay.
depends on like what he. You didn't ask further into finding out what he means by
What do you mean
China.
by threat? Yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
is it like economic threat? Is it like military threat? Like, what do you mean by threat? You know?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I get what you're saying. But it is interesting that China and Canada made that deal to like sell more oil to, unless that was just like headlines. I don't know. I was just looking at that in my
I mean,
social
I
media
saw the
feed.
headline, but I don't know what is the truth
Okay.
specifically. But
Okay.
sure, I've
Well,
seen
if
those
they,
headlines. Yeah.
it does make sense that they would be selling more oil to China if you lost one of your major trading partners. Like if America was like, yeah, we're not going to take your oil, it's like, well, we got to sell this, bro, or else our economy's like going down too.
Hmm.
I really feel, especially like listening to that podcast, he broke it down so well, and I was like, yeah, there's nothing there that I can like. You might be wrong, but remember when I was saying like I was in school and they were talking about the BRICS economy, right? Like the futures in Brazil, Russia, India, China, and now Singapore or something. That's why it's BRICS. But they've added more names to that thing, and they're saying that we're shifting from the west to the east in the future. And they actually predicted it to be like 2018 is when the shift would happen. But like it didn't happen. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then now we're in 2025, and it seems like okay, this is the time that they were talking about. Because it does seem like China and like Asia's getting more powerful, and America's like confused. You know,
Hmm.
especially like economically, like what's going on with the stock market, all that stuff. You're just like, what are you guys doing?
Hmm.
And like Canada looking for new trading partners, like what? You know.
Yeah.
Do you feel that too? Like it's like because what he said is like there's a shift. This is a 9-month-old podcast, and then there was a 3-month-old interview. I haven't watched that one yet, but 9 months ago he was like, "We're in a shifting phase," and
Who
like
who
everyone can
whose
feel it.
podcast?
The guy, Richard Wolf,
Oh,
I
okay.
messaged you.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I had no idea about this. I just saw like the title, like the
Yeah,
end of America.
I
I'm like, what?
well, we'll talk about
Yeah.
it later, but I've seen him in like debates and other things
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. What he was saying
a
is
while
that
ago. But yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
he was saying that nothing he said is like new. The thing that's interesting about what he's saying now, like why people are paying attention, is like they're starting to see it,
Hmm.
But he's been saying it for a while. So maybe he was just like, because if you have like a differing opinion, maybe it was during the time when it wasn't taking place. Like, do you think he's wrong, or what? What do you mean? Like, he's a pretty
It
legitimate
depends on
discussion,
certain
right?
things. Yeah, because they were talking about other
Yeah.
things in certain philosophies. About I don't disagree with necessarily everything. There are certain things that I forgot what he specifically worded it like
Maoism.
democratization of the workers, like or voting on
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
things. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I
okay.
don't know if I necessarily agree with all of that, but again,
No, no,
if it's in
for
the
sure.
context of like unions, that's a bit different. But then if you're saying that the voters are voting on what the company chooses to do,
Yeah, yeah.
but they don't have, it's like America then like they chose Trump, so they could be the exact
No,
same
no,
thing that
no.
happens.
For sure, for sure. That's I don't know, like how did you see like a clip of it? Because I watched like the whole interview of it, and he
Yeah, no,
like
no,
broke it
I've
down.
seen debates. Like this was during I think even the previous election time.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because the democratization that he's talking about, I'm actually seeing it now. Like working
Hmm.
wise, it's not it's so subtle. Basically, what he's saying is that capitalism is basically a slavery type system Why? Because you have the owner of the company dictating to the lower worker what you're going to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
like slavery. Like, I own you, you're going to do what I say. But the democratization means before you used to have board members deciding where the company will go. Now you're having employees deciding where the company's going to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes it like, you're like, oh, that's kind of weird, but it actually works better because I don't want to give away like too many trade secrets, but like there's the top down approach where the leader tells you what to do, and then there's the bottom up approach. And I'm in a specific environment where we're trying to do the bottom up approach, and it's
Mm-hmm.
actually working better because I was like, yeah, the top person doesn't know, like McDonald's, right? When they're like at McDonald's, you have to work in the bottom floor and then you have to work your way up. You don't just hire a manager to be, because you don't like, what does the fries do? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? The floor,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah.
you don't understand what the bottom is doing. So now, um, in my environment that I'm working in, we're doing the bottom up, which is like, okay, what is your deficit? How do we fix that deficit? How do we make it better? What can we do? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
the front line, bro. Like, you're like actually dealing with
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
the people, right? Whereas before it was like very much guided from the top, but then the people at the bottom were like, why would you do that? We're not even seeing that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I think that's what he means by like democratization. You're like working together to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that's makes sense, right? Yep. So like maybe it's just in the debate that you saw that like he didn't fully flesh out the idea, but like as he's going through it, I was like, oh yeah, I
I
actually
think,
see that
but
happening
again,
now.
it's. I think it's. I would say I don't say like everything should be 100% capitalist. I think the world only works with mixed economies, or even a country
Facts.
works only with
Yeah.
mixed economies.
So we're
Like
just gonna
there's, I
jump
don't
right
think there's
into it.
anything. Yeah, I don't think there's anything
No, no, no.
100% capitalist.
So here's the crazy part. So I didn't even know about this. So during the Cold War, there was this bit, or not Cold War, like 1920, something around like World War One. There was like capitalism versus communism,
Mm-hmm.
but they were both the extremes, right? And then China lost in that war, like that race towards like capitalism versus communism. And in their time, Russia and China built their own versions of communism. So it's not like 100% communism. The reason why China works today is because they have a communist capitalist system.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they adapted their communism to fit capitalism. And that's why they're taking off, because it's more like, it's not like the crazy disparity. I mean, of course, there's a crazy disparity of rich and poor, but like not so much here where the workers are so upset. I guess maybe we don't really know what China's like, right? Because people are like
Yeah, I was
killing
gonna
themselves.
say
Allegedly,
no, but
allegedly.
that's the point. I think they're not, even America's not fully capitalist.
Right, but what he was saying. All right, so this is the point he made about Elon Musk. You have a trillionaire. He's like, did you see the chainsaw thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right, like, and the guy was like, yeah, I saw the chainsaw thing, and he's like, you have a trillionaire. I don't know if he's a trillionaire, billionaire. You have like a really rich person talking about how he's taking a chainsaw to spending or whatever, right? And he's like, but that guy's really, what he's really saying is he's cutting your jobs. So it's like you have a capitalist person telling you that he's gonna like cut away your jobs in favor of making the thing more efficient, but it's like, but the slave of the capitalist system is being affected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's why they're revolting. They're like, bro, where's my job now? What do I do? So you're having, he likened it to France when they like overtook the people and killed them.
Sure.
He's like, we're seeing that in America right now, where the bottom class is getting really upset because they have no money, and then they're like starting to slowly revolt. And he likened it to Germany. That's why Germany during the time of World War One, they had a rich economy. It failed. They were all upset because they had no money. So they turned to somebody that was a non-German, non-blue-eyed blonde to lead them out of this, which was
Mm-hmm.
Hitler. And
Mm-hmm.
he's not saying that Hitler and Trump are the same in like their values, but he's like, no, but the way he's getting into these positions is the exact same mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
People are upset, they're looking for a solution. Trump is saying all the things that are riling them up. So let's go with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, it makes total sense, right? And the other thing that he said too is what you're seeing now, and the reason why he's like, oh, it's the end, is you have a president making the craziest claims. Like, I'm going to take back Canada. I'm going to call this the American Canal. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to create the Department of Efficiency, Doge,
Hmm.
right?" And he was saying that back in the day when you're like 1990s, when we were talking about like North Korea, we're like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, Kim Jong Un's crazy, right? You're like looking at North Korea like, what's this guy saying? Now he's like the rest of the world is looking at America like, what is your leader saying right now?
Hmm.
And it's just it's a person in like a it's like a drowning kid trying to like latch onto anything. Okay, we should do tariffs, And then the guy was like, he's like an economist or something, like Harvard, and he's like, tariffs have never worked. We've seen that in the past, but he's just grasping onto anything to see what'll stick because he's a drowning kid in a pool. And that's what America is right now. And I'm like, yikes, bro. It
Hmm.
really like your analysis makes total sense,
Yeah.
you know? Kind of freaky because you're like, what? Is
Hmm.
this the end of America? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
what,
mean,
what
but
do
the
you
thing is, well, the difference is, um, I don't think so because it's a 4-year term where,
No, 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 no. Right, 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 right. It's so what he's saying is 4-year term, totally. But what damage can you make in 4 years? Because now he's like, why are you upsetting your closest trading partner,
yeah,
Canada?
yeah, no, no, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like, yes, you're making trouble and all these other problems, but it's a 4-year term where there's a chance to correct these things, right? While in communist things, you don't really change the leader.
No, no, no. This
So
right. No, no.
if
I'm
you
not
got a bad leader, you're stuck with a bad leader for a longer time.
totally, totally, totally. But we're not
Right.
talking about communism versus capitalism. This is just like what is happening to America.
Right.
Like that's a different topic of like ideologies. It doesn't really matter about like however you want to govern your structure is how you want to govern your structure.
Hmm.
He actually said this thing. He's like, if you build a community and people are working together, that's communism.
Hmm.
Communism is community,
Hmm.
right? And he's like, it looks like people are moving in favor of communism naturally. Like we're not trying to be like China, but we're just like, we need to work together, guys, because like our economy's down. But that's more like governance structure. I'm just saying America as a whole, even if you like, yeah, you have 4-year term, you can switch them out, sure. But what's the damage you're making in that time?
Sure.
And that's why he's like, it looks like we're heading it's pretty much over. Because it wasn't just Trump. It started at Biden. Apparently, Biden did some tariffs too, allegedly, to like China. And then Trump just ramped it up. But now it's like, okay,
Yeah, but I don't
yeah.
disagree with Biden's economics.
No, no, no. What I'm saying is like, there's no way he couldn't save it.
Who?
Biden couldn't save where this was headed. It's already headed downhill. Biden tried to like slow the bleeding, and then Trump just made the bleeding worse.
Well, I know he's not really much. Well, from his point of view, he's not even the traditional Democrat, right? So he's
Richard
even
Wolf.
further. Yeah, he's even further left. So
No,
I don't.
totally. No,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I don't
But
think that's his claim. But I don't know if that's true.
no, no.
As
But
in,
what he's saying is he's like he's not looking at it as like, well, all right. You know what's actually really interesting. Why can't we? Because I'm kind of feeling it here too. Why can't we talk about communism? Like it's become such a psychological um like taboo in everyone's mind. He's like back when you're like in Europe, you can talk about like, oh, my dad's a communist, my mom's like a
sure.
capitalist, right? Like it's like just whatever, right? But like we've demonized that ideology so far that we can't even be like, well, what are some good aspects of communism? Like what you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
why can't we move in that direction? You know?
Well, I think we probably have different definitions of communism. Do we mean
Uh
socialism, which also doesn't work out?
he didn't even bring up socialism, he's just saying communism. Like
Yeah.
it's
So
just
like
like
I don't know if
uh,
he's. That's what I'm saying. Like if it's socialism, yeah. If because some of the things you're saying may fit to socialism. So I don't know if communism is more directed towards like political systems or he's using a different definition.
Right.
Because then,
But
because
to
if
go,
I guess the
yeah,
way you defined it, it sounded more like socialism, which is a lot of European countries are like socialism,
yeah, totally.
right? Or socialist capitalist. They're a mix
But
as usual.
right. But even in America, he was saying like we had this psyop where it was even in the movies and the media, everything's all about capitalism. Tony Stark,
Hmm.
like oh, I'm the rich man, like even Doctor Strange, he's a rich person, and you have this like skewing of perspective where we're trying to all be rich, like capitalist structures, like Wall Street, the movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and he was saying that because of that, that's the ideology everyone wanted. They all want to be that person, but
Hmm.
it's like it's not working out because everyone can't be that person, bro. We need workers,
Hmm.
right? So if you're all trying to be like rich and then like, oh, I'm above this, you're my employee, whatever. That's this again, the slave master relationship. The workers are going to revolt, and the slaves will revolt eventually because you're not treating them as equally, as could be.
Sure.
I don't disagree from the fact that you should pay people more. Like I don't think a doctor should be paid as much as a plumber. Like that makes no sense.
Hmm.
Like they're definitely doing a harder job, bro. But like so like that's something I wouldn't adopt. But like
Right.
this communal aspect really needs and this like crazy division of like rich and poor in the capitalist system where you're always trying to build your dividends. Right? Like every year it's like, oh what is the board
Sure.
making?
Yeah.
And you're like, why are you thinking about that?
Hmm.
It's like, how do we advance money? Like, what about advanced progress, bro? You know,
Yeah. Right, for the people and stuff. Yeah, no, I just
for the
don't agree
people.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because before, when it was unfettered capitalism, like people were working 7 days a week,
yeah.
but it
Right. And
was
that's how,
right government working for the people, getting us weekends and stuff.
totally. And that's how we got to hear is what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the reason why it's the end of America is not because it's like, oh, America did something bad. It's just, it built a capitalist system and the capitalism he was saying like Marxist. I had to like Google it after. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? But he was saying that they were warning us the whole time that this is not the move, And now we're at that point where it's like, oh, this is not the move. We can't have this crazy division and like constant growth of profits and like all that stuff. It's not
But
sustainable.
it's yeah, it's very what do you call like especially on the Trump side, because they were calling her or calling Kamala communist or Marxist. Like they're
Oh,
really
really?
against. Yeah, they were just using those terms against Kamala. Yeah, that's the level of
Yeah.
hate towards
Psyoping.
those types of ideologies. Yeah.
So like with the advancements of technology that's definitely going to happen if you take out UFO stuff. I'm obsessed with like the zero point energy. AI automation alone, which we all know is real, it's like it's going to change our capitalist system again.
Hmm.
Like like you're really you're putting a lot of people out of a job simply through ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You can be a one person business person and have a whole team, but your team's ChatGPT.
Hmm.
And because of that, it's like capitalism doesn't work there. Because like, let's say you make a lot of money, it's like, well, you have no employees, so you have like, how are they benefiting? Where does the money return back to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's again another sign of like capitalism's not going to work in the future, because you can't have this crazy like rich and poor dynamic with like workers, but you have no workers.
Hmm.
You like Amazon, you're gonna have like a bunch of robot workers. Okay, so what happens to the people that were working there? Oh, I don't know, but I'm making billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Sucks for them. You know what I mean? You're like, then the workers will revolt. Again, the slaves are going to get upset.
Hmm.
So it's like, I really do think it is, it's like downhill, bro. Like, I don't know. Like for capitalism, America, like you guys are making some crazy choices and,
Well, I don't. I mean, I don't know when
you know,
you say capitalism, America's uh, the capital the capital will change based on whatever way to make money. That's the thing. Is it like you just said, like China and Russia?
yeah, They created a different version of like
Well,
he
it's
said
capitalism,
Maoist.
right? Yeah, no, I understand
No, no,
that.
it's not capitalism. It's like a way to keep your communism, but like still make money. I
Yeah,
didn't like
but
delve deep into it, but he
right,
said
right,
it's
right.
like it's Maoism, like Marxist Maoism. And then I googled those, and they're communist people. I'm like, okay, sure. So it's some sort of communism. Like I
Yeah,
didn't
well, I mean that
figure out the
depends on
structure.
yeah, it depends on who you get the definitions from. But some people would say
Google.
that no, 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 no. I'm saying like some people would say that China is has a government system that's communist, but their economy is capitalist.
Right. So that's what he was saying. It's like you
Yeah,
figured out because the world capitalist, the world is.
yeah,
So, but you need a communist, like you need like you guys are communist. So they figured out a way to merge the two so that they could still participate in the capitalist structure while
hmm
remaining communist.
hmm
So it's like maybe that is the thing where it's like why are all businesses owned partly by the government? Probably because of the communism
yeah,
aspect of it. Like I
yeah.
don't know, I didn't delve deep into like their economics, but
Well, that's
he's
the
saying that.
ownership thing, right? So the ownership would then be the government.
But maybe that's the part where the government's like, you guys are getting paid too much. Like we need to increase the because that would actually be pretty good if the government came in. They're like, here are minimum wages that are livable. Remember we did the thing about the minimum wage versus the living wage? That's insane to me.
hmm
Like you're making no money on the minimum wage.
Right.
But that's a capitalist structure. So it's like, okay, let's maximize profits,
hmm
right? You need some reining in of that because that's too insane, you know?
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah,
again, you need like a good leader. So you need like democracy. There's going to be an evolution. There's going to be like democratic socialism or something.
yeah.
I'm
That's Bernie
really,
Sanders,
yeah,
right?
there you go, bro. And he's been saying it the whole time, but like everyone in America just wanted the
Yeah.
money, bro.
Well,
Right?
yeah. I mean, he's been trying to change the definitions. Democratic socialism. He wants kind of like
Oh, is that
what's
real? I just made that up, bro. I didn't know that
no,
was a
no. That's
thing.
a real thing. Yeah.
Oh, oh, really?
That's the whole idea. He wants it to be like European countries.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there's a trick in marketing that I do all the time. If I just take two words that make sense and put them together, like that's just the thing. Like when you say like like if you're trying to say something, you just like put the two words together
Sure.
and then allegedly it's a term. But that's what I noticed like textbooks were doing. So I just did it there. I didn't actually know that was a thing. I just
Yeah.
made that up. Like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's all
Oh.
Denmark and like all the like many other European countries are socialist democratic countries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so let's do that, man.
And a lot
Like
of the times, whenever
seems good.
Bernie talks about things, it's like he's mentioning some of the policies that they have there, or what we have here in Canada,
Yeah.
especially for healthcare and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah. Like the healthcare, we're in 2025, bro. Why are you paying for healthcare? You guys are
mhm,
insane. Like
mhm,
that's crazy to me, you know? And there's also like the vacations when me and Tara went to Mexico. We met this couple from Europe and they had like a month off because they got married. And I was like,
mhm,
what? He's like, yeah, that's just a thing. Like every European country gives you a month off as your honeymoon. You're like, why are we not doing this, bro? Like,
mhm.
what do you guys? Oh, that's crazy. You know, for the people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's the way forward.
right.
One thing that he said, one thing he said was very interesting about like you don't think that. Um, so when I say like the downfall of America, it's not going to be like a boom. You're like, oh, it's over. Well, it might be. I mean, with Trump's craziness, like
hmm
tariffs for everyone, that's insane. But like, one thing that he was saying is it happened to Britain. We just didn't realize it. So they used to say like the sun never sets on Britain or something, or like the
Yeah,
UK.
yeah, yeah. The crown. Yeah, yeah.
Right, you're the crown. The sun never sets on the crown, and that's because like it owns so much. But now, if you look at technological innovation, where people are buying and building things, it's in America and China.
hmm
Nobody thinks about Europe except for it being a tourist destination.
hmm
And I was like, damn, that's so true. They used to be like the epicenter of the world.
Yeah.
And then now people are looking at it like, oh, I could vacation there for a month,
hmm
and he said that's kind of just how it's going to move. It's not going to be like, oh, it's over, like we still think about Britain, but we're just like, it's not the epicenter
Yeah. Yeah.
where like change is being made. It'll be somewhere else
hmm
from America. Yeah. What do you think about remember the movie Civil War?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was kind of saying, I don't know if he mentioned the movie, but like it could turn out something like that. Oh no, that was a different podcast. Sorry, different podcast. Where they're saying like there's gonna be such a yeah, they referenced the movie. There's gonna be such a division between like pro-Trump, anti-Trump that you're gonna see like a little state division potentially, you know? Especially if things start to get worse and people are getting really upset. It's like, are we gonna see internal strife in America?
Well,
Like,
I
are you
mean,
feeling that or?
I don't know what you mean by internal strife. Isn't that technically happened and then they voted in Trump?
Yeah, but wasn't it the mostly the liberal places are the big cities, and then like it was Middle America that took over? Like in this election, I don't remember. Was it sweeping? Did everyone go, or was it like, oh, those cities that we knew were going to be liberal are liberal?
No, generally like California and New York, but there are some that are like in the middle, like they go either way. So some of those ones went red, right?
Okay,
The
yeah,
50-50
all right,
ones,
yeah,
yeah. But the ones that were like blue for a long time, like
state blue.
stayed blue.
Okay, okay, so you don't fear like a potential like
Shift to blue, like everything
no
shift.
no not shift to blue, like a potential like animosity, like if one side is so pro Trump and then one side is so anti Trump, like are they gonna clash?
Well, it's been going on. Like that was since the last time Trump won,
Yeah.
and then Trump won again, right? So we'll see.
No, I think
I
it'll
don't.
be like the same.
I mean, the clash is still the same. I don't know if it's
No,
gotten worse or
but like
less. Yeah.
but the thing is that like now people are like the stock market thing, the tariff thing, you're like the American Canal instead of the Panama Canal or is it Mexico? I don't remember. The Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, and like fighting with Canada. Like there's so many people that are just like I'm seeing it in my own feeds because I like to listen to both sides. So like the New York people are all like he's crazy, like DL Hughley and like Breakfast Club. Like I'm seeing that in that feed where it's like he's crazy, and then like listening to Alex Jones being like this is the most genius move ever. I'm like, oh, you guys are so polar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're ride or die for your side. So it's like
It's like when instead of policies or things like that, you're more you fall in love with the celebrity. Doesn't matter what he
yeah,
does.
yeah,
You just
yeah,
love what he does.
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And but that creates like an in group out group dynamic where it's like I hate you for not loving my guy. Oh, you're so dumb. I was like,
Mhm.
do you guys look at the policies? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Again, why I like Mark Carney. Stayed in the middle. Like, yeah, hey, let's not get crazy.
Right.
I think that we need that. Like, I'm so glad we're Canadian, but like, we need that right now where it's like, hey, let's not get crazy.
But that's what it seems like, right? A lot of the people on the internet, it seems like it's pretty crazy. But
Yeah,
you need to know what the real results are. Like that's the internet.
like that.
Could be
Like
the feeds
that.
that we're getting and things like that. So
No, but it's not. Okay, it's not. I'm not seeing people be crazy. I'm watching the people that are telling the other people what to think.
Mhm.
So it's like you're looking at the person that has a lot of influence. So Alex Jones, lots of influence. Tucker Carlson, lots of influence. Megyn Kelly. Tara's
Yep.
mom brought this one up. She was like, I listened to Megyn Kelly's podcast just to see the alternate point of view, and it was just so pro Trump. Like everything he's doing is amazing. He's the best. And it's just like, okay, well that person has a lot of influence on a lot of people. So it's like I'm not looking at the people. I'm looking at the influencers, and it's like
The thing is,
you guys are so divided, bro.
yeah, but the thing is, Republicans generally are like that,
That's crazy to me, bro.
right? Doesn't
What are
matter
we
what.
doing?
No, doesn't matter the Republican leader. They tend to follow whoever that person is. It just doesn't happen on the
Yeah.
Democratic side.
You're right, because the same people in New York, like the Breakfast Club, they made fun of Sleepy Joe too. They made fun of him. For
Yeah,
like,
so that's what I'm saying. It's like the Democrat
they're
side.
measured.
We're not like blinded or like
Yeah.
like falling
Ride
for
or die.
somebody, ride or die. That doesn't
Yeah.
happen on the Democratic side. So it's like we can be, but again, it's like But that's probably also the cause of the issues too, right? That why Trump would win, because people were just, no matter what, would ride or die for this guy.
Yeah.
But then it's like any small thing that is bad about, let's say, Kamala, or like Obama did, we would mention those things. But like
Yeah, true.
that would just
They
hurt.
would
That
mention
would
it.
just hurt
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, if they start mentioning the bad things that Trump are doing, like it's just like you're opening Pandora's box at that point
Hmm.
because there's so many other things that you can make fun of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But even that crazy division is just like, bro, like you need to stop being so divisive, man. Just like look in the middle. Let's just see what both sides are, let's see what's the best solution for everyone.
Hmm.
And if you can't move past that, like as a country, again, you're doomed to fail because then everyone, Robert Richard Wolf was saying, like the whole world's looking at America because it's the central stage, right? Like that's where the news is. Everyone's looking at it like, yo, your president's crazy, bro.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Anything else about that before we move on?
No, we'll see what happens. But yeah.
I'm thinking liberals gonna win on
Oh, here, yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. I hope so. I don't want to be wrong like last time with the United States.
Oh, the Trump thing.
Yeah.
Like you mean when you called it? Yeah, but that was
I mean, it's like
yeah.
between a sane person and an insane person. It seems like a lot of people were just insane and voted for the guy. So.
No, but like no facts are facts. But like the reason why I knew Kamala wasn't gonna win is because I was listening to both sides. Like like Chris Cuomo, right? Not that he's like a Republican, but he switched. Like he was like everyone was saying, "Hey, we need to like move in the Trump direction." Is what I was hearing. Aside from like he's the end of democracy. Like that's just hyperbole. Saying he's Hitler, like, come on, man, let's look at the policies. But everyone was like moving in the Trump direction, and then those same people are now against Trump. So it's like, no, they weren't like ride or die. The people I was listening to, that's why I was like, oh, you seem so on the fence that I feel like everyone's just gonna vote for Trump.
Yeah, but
Like
like if
those swing
you
states.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you understood what Trump has been saying and these sort of things, you would not have voted for him.
Totally. It's almost like a Hail Mary. They
Like
were at the end.
like all these things that he was saying at his rallies, he said he was going to do those things.
Oh, which ones? What the tariffs and stuff?
Yeah, I think he mentioned those things
Oh, really?
before. Yeah, it's not like this was something he lied about necessarily. He said these
Yeah.
things.
I think it's a Hail Mary though. Like I'm in the terms of the voting. I think they were just so desperate that they're like, let's see, let's
Hmm.
hope, But that's not a good state to be in. To be like, let's see, let's hope. You know what I mean? Like
I
with
mean, a lot
with
of people
the
didn't show up to vote. That was another thing too, right? So, like, it
yeah, true.
depend. Their voting percentages were pretty low.
Wasn't the voting percentage in I saw this somewhere where the voting turnout so far with the early voting sends a clear message to Trump or something, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Was it because like there
But
were
how do
more
you know that
voters?
though? You don't. We don't know what the early voters voted for.
No,
You
no,
can
no, no. About
imply
how many
that.
people?
Yeah,
No,
you
about
can.
how many people like showed up?
Yeah, no, I understand that. Like
Oh,
7 million did the early advanced polling or advanced voting, but like I don't know if that implies it's against Trump, or is it like
oh, I see what you're saying.
they're fed up of liberals and they want conservative. Like we don't know what that means.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
that's opinion then, right?
No, but like in contrast to America, where like a bunch of people didn't vote, like this was the first election for me where I was like, oh, I really got to vote. Like usually I'm like, eh.
Hmm.
Like what was the last one we did? Like where it was like Trudeau again? I remember voting during like the COVID-ish times.
Yeah, maybe it's 4 years ago.
Sure. And I was like, and I remember I was like, okay, it's not really worthwhile, whatever. Like I was kind of like, meh. I think
Mm.
I voted Green Party. So like something stupid. I remember I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like that
Right.
one, I was like, who cares, right? I think I even said that on the podcast, but like, just let's try something new, Green Party. You know what I mean? It's like, well,
Mm.
that was a
Mm.
throwaway vote. But then no, it was Jagmeet
Probably
Singh.
NDP. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so into him at that time. I was like, yeah, this guy's cool, bro. So like, I voted for him. But like this one, I was like, no. I went early voting,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I felt compelled at this point. So I feel like a lot of Canadians felt compelled too. right?
Sure. Yeah. I
That
mean, yeah.
isn't that what the number showed?
Yeah. The numbers showed that there was a high number of people voting in advance. Yeah. I don't know if that, again, which direction that exactly implies
No, yeah,
until the
totally,
results,
totally.
right? Then we can discuss.
Facts are facts. It was just more like I'd never felt that sensation before, where I was like, oh, this feels a very dicey. Like
No,
I
because
don't
yeah,
understand, you know?
I know two people that did advanced voting, but they voted conservative,
Totally. No, that's it. Doesn't
right?
matter which way you go.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying that,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying is like I don't know what does the 7 million mean?
totally. No, right. I'm looking at the fact that people like advance voted because you said that in America, a bunch of people didn't vote. So did they feel like, oh, it's pointless, the world's gonna end, whatever? You know what I mean? Whereas like Canadians are like, we gotta freaking do something right now.
Hmm.
You know?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Like we don't feel
I
hopeless, is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
I've been hearing that. I think Trump's thing probably also changed it for us too
What would you mean?
in the direction we vote.
Oh, okay. Because of his antics?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or it's like we can't have that conservative
Hmm.
Republican feel.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
seems like it's brought more Canadians together than
It has.
before. So it's like,
It's crazy. Like it's crazy.
yeah.
That's one thing I do like about Canada, that we're like, we will band together. Like during
Hmm.
COVID time, like, hey, we're giving everybody money. Like, oh, cool, man, thanks.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, the carbon tax is so expensive, people can't pay for groceries, so you got $200. You're like, cool, thanks.
Hmm.
You know, all right, random. You know? Whereas like
Well,
America, like, what are you guys doing,
well,
bro?
that was the complaint. That's all gone now, anyways, right? The carbon
It's
tax
back up
thing.
though. No, it's back up. I was like, why is the gas back at like 137, bro? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
that's again, it's a world economy. It's OPEC stuff. If someone starts to reduce on pumping oil, then the prices of barrels go up.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not
There's
like a
it's
okay,
not like these things are not because of the like which government's in power.
okay. That makes sense.
It's a world thing. So if Saudis decide to um, produce less barrels of oil, then the prices of oil goes up. Or if there's
Okay,
turmoil
good.
in if there's turmoil happening, like especially at like when the first part of Ukraine and Russia thing happened, it went up just because turmoils in markets. These sort of things also
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
impacted. So
Okay, okay. That's good to know because I was like, what the hell's going on with the gas? It was
if
like
recession
hella
is to
expensive again.
come, yeah, if recession is to come with all this uncertainty with the markets and stuff, and maybe like Saudi's thinking that we'll produce less so we can make as much money as we can right now.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. It's a crazy game we're playing, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Mm.
I think that like, oh, I feel like the old world's dead, man. I really do believe this. I know you still go to the office, but like, I was watching Black Mirror, just one episode yesterday or two episodes. And like they had to go into the office because they were doing like a taste test. Have you seen the new Black Mirror?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, so well, the premise is like they're all working in the office because they're making like candy or something,
Hmm.
and I forgot all about the office life, just like conversations and like interactions, and you're just like, oh man, whatever happened to that? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or
I
I
don't
mean, like,
I
yeah.
think I think it's well, we have to look at the numbers, but I think it's gone up. People going back to the office.
No, no, facts are facts, but like not every single day. You know, like
No, no, no.
I,
No,
I know
I'm
people
not
found
gonna
that
say every
tough.
single. Yeah, I'm not saying every single day, but it seems like a lot of the times now. I mean, if a recession comes, people are lost jobs. Anyone that they're rehiring or anything, it probably will start back up in the office.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But also, I think it depends on your industry.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, like banks. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you see that meme where it's like 2020 and then you're like remote working from home and then 2025 you're remote working from the office because you're still taking virtual meetings?
Yeah.
I was like, that's so funny because it's true. It's like why couldn't we just work from home if we're still doing the same
Hmm.
remote work? I don't know. I feel like that feels archaic to me. Like the old system, like 9 to 5 grind. Like obviously with certain jobs, like you still go in, but like the things that are happening now are not necessary for having an office. Like I think there's a lot of potential for like online work, you
Sure.
know.
Yeah. It depends. I think it depends on the industry you're in. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously like for utilities and like, banks and stuff, like yeah, sure, you have to go in, but like I don't know, I feel like things are just innovating in a different direction now. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um okay. So before before I get into because they dropped like a UFO UAP thing. Remember we were talking about like Skywatcher? And then we didn't talk about the 9 classifications and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's there's one thing I'm like, let me ask you about this first. What do you think about epigenetics? Like, do you know anything? Like, you know the concept of epigenetics, like
No,
genes get
give me
passed
the.
down.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, like
Yeah,
it's
give
just
me
basically
the basic stuff. Yeah. Just
so
a reminder.
genes just get passed down.
Okay.
Like from like so, if I'm good at jujitsu, those those um those traits will pass down to my kid if I have a kid.
Hmm.
Right. And I heard this thing like Tara teaches like puberty education, and I didn't even know this, but when you're giving, it's like if there's a mother and then she gets pregnant, the child that she's pregnant with is born with all of the eggs that they will have for the rest of their life.
Hmm.
So like so like well, first off, I didn't know that girls females only have a set number of eggs that they're born with, and that's it. Did you
Okay.
know that?
No.
I did not. It's so insane. It's so. I was like, oh, okay. There's so many things I didn't know. I was just like, okay.
Hmm.
So all females, when they're born, the eggs that they have are the only eggs they'll ever have. They don't create new ones.
Hmm.
Okay. So when they're born as well, they are the mother. It's like if like Tara's mom gave birth to Tara. So the eggs that Tara has are genetically influenced by her mom.
Okay. Yeah, I
Because
understand.
right, because you're right,
Right.
your grandmother.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I knew nothing about my mom's grandfather.
Hmm.
Like I just knew he was in the army. That was it. I was like, oh yeah, he's a colonel in the army. All right, that's cool. Or general. No, he died as a general because you get like automatic promotion. So I had no idea. And then Tara's sister was like, do you have any grandparents? And I'm like, yeah, I just have like my grandma on my mom's side. And then, oh, do you get to know them? I was like, no. And then she's like, what were their names? I'm like, I actually don't even know. Like I knew nothing about my mom's side. We always focused on my dad's side.
Yeah.
I didn't even know my mom's parents' names. Okay. It was all preface. So all right, just remember, I knew nothing. Okay. So I go right after Easter, like, because that was then we were picking up Athena, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, like, what are your parents' names?" And my mom's like, "Oh, this," and I'm like, "Oh, what did your dad do?" And she's like, "Yeah, he was a general in the army." And like, "Oh, do you have any stories?" So it turns out my mom grew up in military camps as a
Hmm.
kid. She was going because she was a military kid, and she was really close to her dad, right?
I
Like,
kind of knew that. Oh, we didn't know that.
all right, my sister was like, mom's been telling us this story all the time. I'm like, I just never listened. That's
Because
crazy.
no, because I learned all
You
that
knew?
when we went to Philippines.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know any of this, bro. Damn. Okay, I didn't know this. All right. All right, it gets crazier. Damn, that's crazy that you knew. I just don't. I'm so self-centered. Like, look at that. I don't even know anything about my mom. So my mom's parents both died of like heart disease, and that's why she doesn't drink or smoke because she's like those are contributors to heart disease. So like it kind of turned her off like
Mm.
that. And then so she grew up in military camps. There was a one time, so I didn't even know how. Like you're like, oh, you're just in a military camp, but during the time when she grew up, it was rebel occupied in the Philippines. So like there was a government stuff. It was like anti-government and for the government.
Hmm.
My mom's dad was for the government. So while they were a kid, they were having like a bonfire, all the military kids. And then they sound the alarm and they're like, what's going on? And they're like, the rebels are trying to invade the camp that we're in. So they had to bring all the kids into like this one place. And my mom's dad and the soldiers killed all the rebels. Right.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty crazy. And my mom's like, yeah, we used to watch people train all the time and like do all these military procedures. Her dad actually trained military people because he was like pretty high up. And then he was famous for killing the most famous rebel who was against the Philippine like army. And then he retired, and then he became a anti-drug smuggling person in their region. And then after that, he was like a national police overseer or something to like train them and stuff. And then when he died, he got an automatic promotion from colonel to general,
Mhm.
as they do. So that's why my mom doesn't like gun movies. Like I was like, why don't you like? Because me and my dad and my sister, we always go to the action
Sure.
movies, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And like she's like, oh, I don't like the guns. They're like, you can't have any guns in the house. Oh, like my dad will have like a fake toy. I don't like the fake toy,
Mhm.
And you're like, why? But it's the trauma of like being. She's like, well, I grew up with this. Like I grew up around literal killers, watching them kill other people
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah, of
prepare this
course.
stuff, right?
Right, right.
Okay. So and she'd always be like, oh, that's so funny. You're going to jujitsu, or like you're going to martial arts. That's cute, right? And I'm like, oh, it's because you knew real killers. I'm practicing. I'm LARPing as a killer. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's like, this is so dumb. Like, what?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know?
Right, right, right.
But here's the question. Did the genetics get passed down from my grandpa into me? And that's why my propensity is to be like aggressive.
Mhm.
And then my dad just like, it's like nature and nurture, right? My dad just like fueled it because he loved watching action movies, you know?
Right.
Because I didn't know any of that. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, is that why I'm like obsessed with like learning martial arts? What do you think?
No, there
Is that
could
a
be.
piece of it? Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
weird, right?
No, I think there could be a piece of it. I feel like, but things there could also be where there needs to, you may have certain genes or other in other direction too, but you need certain catalysts to also trigger them on.
Like nature nurse, like it
Yeah,
turned on the gene.
yeah, because
So when my
you're
dad bring me to the movies, I'm like, oh, cool. And it turned on that gene.
yeah.
Yeah, could be, eh?
Hmm.
Because that was so wild. But then my mom was like, so I think that there's like they did this thing on rats and remote viewing. This is related to UAPs, but there's a study where they would take the rat away from the mother, and then they torture the child, and then the mother, the brainwaves of the rat, they'll see it spike because it's based
Hmm.
off of love. The more love and attachment you have, the more the connection there is. Right. And then when my mom was like, "Oh, I was a daddy's girl," like she's like really like she's like, "Me, we
Hmm.
hung out all the time, whatever." I'm like, did that love somehow transpose into your genetics as well? Because there's a bond there. Because she
Hmm.
was saying that like, well, that can't. Because I was like, "Oh my god, this is why I'm so obsessed." Like epigenetic. My mom was just like laughing at me. You're so dumb. And then she's like, "But my brothers completely went away from that. Like all of her brothers are peaceful. Their sons are peaceful. Nobody wants to fight. I'm the only one that's like aggressive, right?"
Hmm.
And it's like because they were so traumatized by their childhood too that there's like, I want to stay far away from this as possible.
Right.
So it's like is because the love was there, so it's like it almost like bonded those genes. Like, I'm
It
not too
could
sure
be.
like
Yeah, yeah,
why.
yeah. It could have been like a positive outlook on those things because of your experiences with your dad. Like,
Yeah, okay.
again, this is all opinion, but
Speculation. I'm just like it's kind of
speculation,
weird.
opinion. Yeah, yeah. But then the other ones were like maybe their view, but also like I don't know. Is did they have a connection to the mom? Like you know
Maybe I don't know.
how
I'd
that
ask them.
works?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. It's so weird. We're such a domino effect. We just don't even realize. Like when I found this out, it just like clicked for me. Like, oh,
Hmm.
that explains a lot of things, right?
Hmm.
And like everyone's laughing at me, like Tara's laughing at me, like this is not real. And I'm like, no, I swear there's something like we know about epigenetics. We know about like you just told me about the egg thing. So it's like,
Yeah, it's not saying that
you
we're,
know,
but there's nothing wrong with thinking this sort of thing is kind of like it's hard to prove these things. Sure, if you want to say like
hard to prove.
it's
Yeah,
not real,
facts.
but there's something. I think there's something there. I think like if our genes are being like we can see, oh, you have certain things of your mom or your dad or whatever, right? We can see
Yeah.
the gene. I don't see why, like certain the way your brain would work, maybe similar
Like
too. Like
behavioral
why wouldn't
patterns.
why wouldn't that also be
Yes.
transferred?
No, thank you. That's totally right. Like that's a great example actually. Like if heart disease, because they're like, oh yeah, like you have a propensity towards diabetes, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, we know genetically you have a predisposition towards a health concern.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a predisposition towards a behavioral pattern?
Yeah.
Right? It only makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just taking it too reductionist. Like, oh,
But they
the
do,
body, right?
but they do kind of say that too, right? Like, oh,
Oh,
come from a family like the depression is not a like a depression. If our
oh
parents
yeah,
had depression or like they're, like the chances of you having that
yeah.
kind of thing, it's the
It,
same.
it's
It's a
but they
behavioral
say
thing too, right? It's part of the brain.
it's behavioral, but they liken it to a chemical imbalance. So I'm like, oh, they're trying to reduce it. They're trying to be reductionist about it. Oh, it's just chemical thing,
Yeah, but
So it's like
behavioral is all chemical, anyways.
that's what I'm saying too, right? So I'm like, okay, it makes sense that like behaviorally, I'd be like, maybe I'm just getting more dopamine. Let's reduce it further. I'm just getting more dopamine as I'm seeing these action sequences.
Mm,
So I'm just chasing dopamine,
right.
you know? Like I always get this like dopamine spike. There's like a dopamine crash. So I taught yesterday and I had this huge dopamine spike. And then when I came home, Tara's like, oh, you're so like bummed out, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I always get this way after I teach. Like, remember when I used to teach at EMA? So I was teaching like a class and I was like super excited while I was doing it, like dopamine,
Mm-hmm,
dopamine,
mm-hmm.
dopamine. And then as I get home, there's like no dopamine. So I'm just like, oh, right.
Right.
But it's like, that's behavioral too. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it's all a part of it. We don't realize there's a book called like The Brain and the Meaning of Life, and it says that like all human beings just seek out dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're like, oh, I'm gonna run, and they're like, oh, that's so taxing, and like you don't want like like doing something uncomfortable creates no dopamine. No, you're delaying your dopamine satisfaction now for a greater dopamine hit later. So you're literally just chasing the higher hit of dopamine every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes sense, right? Like you're like, I don't want to go to the gym, but you go anyways
Yeah.
because after you'll feel better, you'll get a bigger dopamine spike.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm glad you see it my way too, because I was like, I'm gonna talk to Vish about this one because I'm pretty sure there's something here, bro. Like you're right, like predisposition to health, like, but there's also like chemical predispositions too. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was weird though, right? Like, it's weird too. If I had never, if Tara's sister had never asked me that question, I would have died never knowing any of this. Like, I didn't listen at all. That's crazy, bro. Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
we
yeah.
went to, I think when we were there, we went to a base, right? We were in some place, I remember.
I was so locked into myself that I don't
Oh
like. I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. There was different things going on at
yeah,
the time for you,
yeah,
but
yeah, no, well, but even aside from that, but like when I went to the Philippines as like a teenager too, like they brought you around, but you're like, yeah, well, it's a grave, yeah, that's cool. When you're like a kid and they're like, this is the Sistine Chapel, you're like, yeah, it's a nice chapel, yeah, whatever. I still play my video games. You know what I mean? Like you don't care at all until like later you're like,
maybe, yeah, maybe. I was just different, I guess. I mean, these are the things that
we're definitely different. Yeah,
I was the experiment, no, like the experience of it. Like, what is this
yeah,
new stuff? Like, I never been to a military base before.
right, right. And you went to church with me, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you
yeah,
were like, you're just very like interested in
yeah.
different things. Whereas I'm just like, unless it's entertaining, I don't care.
But I think my view at that time probably was still it's life, it's just experience. This is all like
Yeah, true.
something interesting about the world. Yeah.
You know what's interesting to like speaking of like life and like that I was playing it's like my brain was so fried on I think Saturday. I just had overworked myself or Friday. I had overworked myself. So what I did was I started playing video games.
Mm.
Like I played Final Fantasy 8. And then I was like, oh, I forgot all about this feeling, like just
Mm.
like letting go, because I had to do so much like creative stuff. And then Tara asked me yesterday about like playing video games. It's like, what's the allure, right? And I was like, oh, you just get to do the thing that you could never do in real life. Like I realized as kids, right? I was so obsessed with video games because I could live. Like
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, you don't have any like I want to go to the mall. No, I have no money. I want to travel. No, no, no. Right. So you can escape through a video game,
Yeah.
right? But as an
Mm-hmm.
adult, you're like, oh, I want to travel. Okay, just go buy the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You could do more things, and I think that's why for me, it's like I'm playing life like a video game now. But going back to playing video games, I was playing Final Fantasy 8, and I was telling Tara that like, oh, the storyline's about a military. There you go, military again. It's about military students who like save the world, kind of thing. I'm like, I could never do this in real life, so I'm just living it out through video
Mm-hmm.
game. You're not gonna drive F1, so you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah.
play video games instead of play
Right.
F1, right?
Right.
You get the experience without any of like the struggle over it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like I think that's the main allure of video games. It's like you could do the thing that you just always wanted to do but couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a kid, you have so little freedoms that like you'll play anything. Like I want to play Sims. You know, like as a kid, I remember loving Sims because I was like, "Ah, I get to build my house, you know, put my couch there, whatever, whatever." But now I'm like literally just playing Sims in real life. I'm just like, I'm gonna buy a couch and put it right here, you know.
Yeah.
But I have no draw to play Sims as an adult because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I just go do that thing, you know.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, or like you see what I'm saying there? Like
Yeah. No,
it's
no. I,
almost like
I, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
right, we're like doing the thing that we want to do, but we just can't do it, so we're just gonna like live it out through like a simulation, a
Mm-hmm.
video game, right? But like if I was like, hey, you want to play Sims? You'd be like, why am I playing Sims right now, bro?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel a draw to playing Sims?
No, but I don't think I ever did have a draw to play
Yeah,
these
fair, fair,
those
fair.
those types of games. Again, the games that I'm playing are something you can't really do in real life.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No, yeah, facts, facts. Like yeah, I
I
know what you
mean,
mean.
racing was always a thing. Like
It was,
that,
yeah, yeah, facts, yeah.
right?
But you're not gonna buy a car and then like drive a chance hitting another car,
No, I'm not
dying. Like,
gonna do
oh, that's
that. Yeah.
crazy, bro. But like you'll drive as fast as you can in a car that has no repercussions, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think that that is the coolest outlet that we have, like video games. Because people are
Hmm.
like, oh, I play video games, but like, no, literally, you just do something you could never do in real life. You know, I can't like play Resident Evil and fight off zombies. Like what?
Yeah.
But I'm finding that like I don't know about you, I can only watch movies that are like sci-fi now. Because after watching reality TV, I'm like anything that's real, except for White Lotus, that was amazing. But like anything that's real, it's like, or like rom coms. White Lotus is different because there was like killing and stuff like that. But like a rom com, it's like why am I watching a rom com? I'll just watch reality TV. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But like sci-fi is so out the zone that you'll never see that unless somebody writes about it. You know,
Right.
right? Like, or I don't know about you. Like, do you still like rom coms or like dramas?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it depends. By it just whatever I'm feeling into, kind of thing. It changes. If I like, it's been too long that I
Okay.
haven't watched sci-fi. I was like, kind of need some sci-fi. Right.
Right, right. Okay, yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's
That
just
makes sense.
understanding at the time what you're
Like, what you're like,
into.
yeah,
Like what's
that makes sense.
calling? What's your calling at this time?
That's so weird, like being so in tune with your body, like knowing what you want to do,
Hmm.
you know? Or like self-awareness. Like it's not even self-awareness, it's just like it is self-awareness, but it's like can you just see what's going on? Can you body scan? They do that in yoga all the time, like a body scan. You know, you're
Right.
like, what do I want to do?
Hmm.
A lot of people really just don't do that, and which is crazy to me. Like they're like, I'm upset. Like, why? I don't
Well,
know.
then, yeah, I guess if you don't do that, I mean, then the issue is you don't know why you're unhappy. You don't know why
And you're just in
you're
a feedback loop. You're
in
just
a
like, just everything's upsetting me. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
maybe like somebody will ask you to do something, you'll get upset, and you're like, oh, it wasn't actually about you. It's about this thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
But if you don't have that like sentience, you're just like everything's the enemy. You
Hmm.
know, at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What are we at time wise? I have one interesting thing.
Well, we're at 1 hour 8 minutes.
Okay. Oh, damn. All right. Well, all right. Well, I know this is UAPs, bro, because this is friggin' so interesting. Um, oh, actually, wait, really quickly, the 10,000-year-old dire wolf. What are we doing, bro?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The we didn't talk about that, but that is insane to me. Like Jurassic Park for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What
like,
are the implications?
well, it's not a. It's got genes or some genes of the direwolf. It's not like 100%
Oh,
direwolf.
it's not 100%. Oh,
No, no,
damn.
no, no, no. They can't do 100%
Damn.
direwolf.
Oh, get out my face. Marketing matters, bro. Damn. Okay. Because my first thought was like, wait, if you introduce that into the wild, what's that going to do like to the biosystem? You know, if
Yeah,
it
no,
starts
no.
eating
It
too
you
many.
you because you can't do 100% direwolf because you're still using the host and stuff as a wolf,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
right? you
Oh, they're
need to
not like,
have you need to have an
yeah, yeah,
actual
yeah.
direwolf.
Right. It's not like 3D printing a direwolf.
Yeah, yeah, no.
You're like using a thing. Okay, that makes sense.
Because you're putting it into a wolf egg, right? I guess, or like you're
Yeah, yeah. So you
and
need some
you're
like real thing. Yeah.
yeah, and you're doing something to the gene to make it as close as possible to a direwolf, but
Right,
you
right, right.
can't really make a direwolf because it's still just a wolf egg,
It's
wolf
like
DNA.
CRISPR.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
CRISPRing the freaking thing.
Right.
So that's crazy though, like CRISPR, that we actually can genetically engineer. Like if you're like, oh, I just want my kid to have blue eyes, you can literally do that.
Hmm.
There was because we like love Athena so much, we were thinking about like, oh, like cloning her, right? And you're like, oh,
I was
dude,
about
that
to
sounds so
say, like,
crazy.
don't they do
Yeah,
cloning
they do
already?
that. They do that, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. So like with the
yeah.
direwolf, I was listening to the debrief podcast with that magician, and he was like he was doing a magic show in I think like Dubai or some rich Arab country, right? And then like they he was like petting this dog, and then they're like, oh yeah, you know, like you can clone things, and he's like, oh no way. And then he's like, yeah, the one you're petting right there is a clone. He's like, what? We made two of them. I'm like, what? It's like a
This is
hundred
like,
thousand dollars.
I mean, this was like, I think even more than 10 years ago. I knew about this because there was like a video about that in like China. They were cloning, like the owners were cloning their dogs.
I saw it too, but I was like, there's no way this is real. Like, and then the direwolf thing, I was like, what's going on, bro? Like,
Hmm.
oh, we've been cloning things. And then the question becomes, how many people have cloned themselves? They just won't tell you about it. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Like if you have you know, when they're talking about like the Epstein conspiracy, he has a clone, and then they killed the clone. You know, you're like, I don't know, maybe you do have a clone. I'm not sure. But
Hmm.
what's even more crazy about that, aside from like having a identical clone, is you could just clone. There was a movie about it too, where you clone something to create the body part, kill the person, and then just take the body part. It was like a Ewan McGregor movie.
Oh
They
right.
would like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
remember that movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy movie. They'd like clone him and then just like use his like they'd kill him and then just use his body
Well, they're
parts.
growing. Yeah, because someone had like kidney cancer or something, and
Yeah, yeah,
just replace it with
yeah,
this guy. Yeah.
crazy, bro. Okay, last thing, the UFO thing. They had the 9 classifications and like sure, whatever we saw. Oh, he explained. So he's on a podcast, the Skywatcher, the two of them, Jake Barber and the other dude, I forgot his name. Yeah, I forgot his name. But he was talking about how, like, aside from the, well, I'll talk to you about the reason why the images are so bad. So they're calling these things with 100% success rate, right? But they don't know where they're going to be, and so they're just filming everything. And then what they do after is they will use their editing technology to zoom in. So that's why you have pixelated images. It's because they didn't like scan it, you know, as
Hmm.
it moved by. They just capture the whole sky. They're like, oh, it was right there. They scrub the footage after, and then they'll zoom in. So that's why the images are bad. That's not like sure. Well, like you can argue that to death, right? But the thing that I didn't even think about that he said, and this is the thing that I sent you, which is like we don't know the ramifications of constantly calling them. So are you opening up a potential Pandora's box? And what he was saying is that he's because they're setting good intentions every day,
Hmm.
they they hope that nothing bad happens because they're having good intentions. Because allegedly in these circles, if I come at it with like greed, fear, all these negative things, you can call it demon, right? Like they've explained that like collapsing the wave function, like your intent really matters on what you see. So because they have good intentions every day, like they're calling in good things. But then I was thinking, wait a minute, is this three body problem right now? Are you literally sending out to the whole universe, hey guys, we're here. This
Mm-hmm.
actually might be a really bad idea. I didn't even think about it until he said like Pandora's box. I'm like, wait a minute, that could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? It's crazy, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I didn't know if that was what he. Well, that's what you got from the thing, or the video that, or the clip that you sent me. So I wasn't
I
sure, like
watched
a
the full, yeah,
full thing. Yeah, because I didn't
yeah.
understand exactly what he was talking about. Like,
Oh yeah, because there's context later. Like it's longer than that. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. It seemed
yeah,
like that clip was just that they weren't giving us all the information.
because it's like it's because they go back and forth about it. But basically, that's the premise. If you with what we know about quantum physics, about collapsing the wave function, what you want to see becomes reality, right? Because everything's in superposition, and then us observing it creates that thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they know that's real, and they know that that affects the calling of these crafts. So, like, if somebody comes to this with like a bad intention, they could call a bad thing into existence, right? But like, with all that considered, it's like maybe we should reconsider just constantly blasting out because they said it's 100% success. They figured out a way to create 100% success with this dog whistle that they created. So I'm like, okay, if it's 100% success, like what are the implications of constantly being like here, 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 and then people keep like crafts keep getting drawn to it. They said 300 interactions. What the hell? 300 interactions from your dog whistle. Like, what if that's going to call a mothership or something? You know, like something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And remember Chris Bledsoe? I don't know if you remember this, but like I was saying that in 2026, there's supposed to be like some crazy come to Jesus moment with all this stuff where like the aliens are going to reveal themselves. I'm like, let's hope this is not War of the Worlds with your calling.
Right.
Like, I would hope not, but like, that's,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like, if you're calling a lot of sharks to an area,
Yeah.
well, a moment before one of the sharks decides to bite you,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with that thing. Like, I'm
Mm.
just tangentially watching it now, but I'm like, I'm a little freaked out because I'm like, that's a little weird, actually. Because like, I never thought about like, what if you do keep calling these things? Like, yeah. How do you feel about it?
Again, I'm still on the fence of all these things, right? So.
But it's 100. No, but wait, hold on.
No,
But we agreed that there's.
no,
Wait,
no. He's saying there's 100%. I don't know. That's what he says.
Oh no, for sure. I'm saying
Yeah.
that like there's UAPs, but we agreed that there's UAPs. But like the next question
Oh,
is like who's
yeah, yeah.
piloting the UAPs?
Sure.
But who's piloting the UAPs? So it's
Mm.
like, okay, like whoever you're calling, there's some intent there, and we should really tread lightly. But I guess this is something you can't, because one thing he said is like you can't classify the skies, you can't stop us from doing this because like nobody owns space. I'm like, you're right, but like this could be really bad. It's the
I
start
don't
of a
know if it's
sci-fi
going to be
movie.
bad. I think they should keep doing it.
Really?
Yeah, prove it to the world. Just keep doing it.
Okay. So prove it to the world. So this is what he said in the interview. So they know that the reason why they created the dog whistle that 100% works is because the creator of the dog whistle worked for the government to down crafts.
Mm-hmm.
So like he knows what he's doing. So he just recreated it, and that's why they have a 100% success rate because the government also has a 100% success rate. So what the government does that they're not doing, so the government will call a craft, shoot it down, then extract the resources from the craft, right? So what he said is the ultimate intent of Skywatcher, and the reason why they keep doing this is they're trying to get either a donation, meaning that these civilizations will gift us something, will like leave something
Sure.
there, or there's the ultimate goal come down, land, and make contact so that they could film it. So like,
That's
oh,
why I
but
say to keep doing it.
totally. And what they want is once, because the government can keep up their secrecy all they want. You know, there's like the disclosure stuff, whatever, and like those documentaries, right? They're like, oh, the government's the um, General Electric and like Northrop Grumman and like all these places have crafts, right? And they're selling it to us. But if they can be gifted a craft or make an interaction that they film with these beings, then that's free to the world.
Hmm.
Because now you're not, they refuse to shoot one down because that's nefarious, right? You don't want to just like take. But if you can be granted one of these crafts and then you get infinite free energy, then we can all use it. And like that's how you get like the utopia of like
Right.
infinite resources.
Mhm.
So you're on board like constantly doing it. I'm kind of
Oh
not,
yeah,
I'm like kind of
I'm
on
on
the fence,
board.
bro.
I'm 100% on board.
Damn, I don't know. I'm kind
Yeah.
of on the other side now.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
bro,
I'm 100% on board. If you want to prove it, you gotta keep doing it.
yeah. And you know what they said? Like, the only two things that they can stop them is they run out of money or um, the government comes in and tries to stop them. The government cannot come in and stop them because they have weapons. They're like they're ready for attack, and they're all multimillionaires. So they're like we won't run out of money. They're like we're hoping we won't run out of money, but like
We'll see.
they all have millions of dollars. So like hopefully not, you know.
Mm.
But as they do this, one thing that they were saying is that the interviewer is like, you're sparking other people to do this. And he's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, we're doing it. We're creating all this stuff that you can replicate yourself. So all these independent things are also trying to call crafts now as well. But going back to the intent part, are all those other people doing it with like positive intentions? Because like we don't want to call a demon into the world, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like that could be really bad.
Sure, yeah. But they already opened the Pandora's box on it, so
True.
no way to stop it now.
All right, cool. We totally flipped sides on this one. I was like all for it. Now I'm like, I'm kind of freaked out. And you were like, I don't know. Now you're like, keep going, guys, keep going. I'm
Keep
like,
going. Yeah. Prove it to me. I need to be
I
proven. I
know.
need, right? So I don't mind.
I mean, it would be so gnarly if they do that, where they get like an actual footage and then they
Sure.
interact with the being.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm freaked out about is like, yeah, what if you just keep calling things? Like, what is the problem here? Like, what is the problem of this? Like, what if one race is bad?
Well, then we hope for the other good races to show up.
True, and like help us out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. 300 interactions so far that they've had, but no downing and no landing, but they keep trying to like invite them to land.
Hmm.
So we'll see. Yeah. I think 2025, the end of 2025, we're going to have the craziest revelation. They really think like a lot of people are saying this right now, which is like actually Danny Sheehan mentioned this, and we'll end with this. He was saying, so he's the lawyer for Stephen Greer and Lou Elizondo. So he's been privy to all this information the whole time. And he said that right now there's like and we've like hinted at this, but now he just said it publicly, that there is a secret patent battle going on. Because now it's like we're sprinting, you know, we're going to, by the end of 2025, like we're going to be like, yeah, UAPs are real. Here's the extraterrestrial intelligence, right? But what is going on behind the scenes is people are trying to position themselves in power plays so that they can be like the benefactor for thousands of years of like this technology. Because like what he's saying is like we are in the midst of history, not only like the downfall of America that we talked about, but also like in 10,000 years when we have relationships with these extraterrestrial beings, we'll be looking at this moment in time when we laid the foundation for how we interact with them. Like the rules, like, do you do this? You know, like that's allegedly that's being worked out right now. So this 2025 could be a very exciting time, you know.
So could still keep America alive if it's all successful.
True, actually, you're right. Actually, yeah, because then if we just have like the technology and they get the patents, then there's the money. Fair. Fair point. Actually, one last thing, because they said that there's a connection between artificial intelligence, UAPs, and quantum physics. Okay, so one thing that Jake Barber did say at the very end.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, because there's three. Well, one thing Jake Barber did say at the very end, I was like, I wonder if this is true, because Lou Elizondo was very specific about it not being a body, like a extraterrestrial body. He was like, it's a biologic. What they are supposing is that maybe AI was created in the past by an advanced civilization, and we could be interacting with the technology that they left over. You know, it's like they left, but then, like, imagine if we left and then AI is like, what are these computers? And all of a sudden the computers get turned on, you know, and like we're just interacting with like a technology that has been here, like has been used in the past. You know, that could be interesting too.
Yeah, I was
it makes
just
sense,
thinking
like-
about it. I was thinking about that. Yeah, it's like as you said it now. Yeah, if we send something out and it takes 10,000 years to come back, and it's back, but the people that were there 10,000 years ago isn't there anymore.
Exactly.
So it's trying to find a way to communicate to us. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. It could be something like that.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, if like we created this thing, send it out, rovers or whatever, and then like something natural disaster happens, and then they're coming back like, here's the information we have for where'd everyone go?
Yeah.
Could be, because they're saying that it's not like ETs. Some are allegedly, but like there's no like pilot in the craft of these things. They're like basically empty, allegedly. So yeah, what does that mean? All right, end of 2025. I think we're gonna see some crazy stuff, and it's an exciting future ahead.
Yeah.
All right, till next time. Any final thoughts?
Keep going.
I'll keep going in a measured way, like us Canadians, like a middle path, bro. Like, keep going, but like, you know, if you guys are calling in some crazy mothership, like, chill out. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, till next time. We'll know next week if we're liberal or not.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy, bitch.
Peace.
Bye. All right, hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors, Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, fish.
Peace.